Welcome back to the deep dive. Today we're looking at something pretty fascinating, an ingredient that feels both ancient and like super modern at the same time. We're talking about jackfruit.
Or kos, as it's known in much of South Asia. Yeah, it's a great topic because it really bridges these two worlds, doesn't it? You have this deep cultural history, especially in places like Sri Lanka.
Right. And then suddenly it's everywhere in the West as this trendy new food.
Exactly. And our sources really lay out that whole journey from being, this vital nutrition tree ensuring food security for centuries.
To now being hailed as the next big thing in vegan eating, a vegan meat star.
Yeah. So our mission today really is to unpack that. Why the sudden global push and what does this shift mean, not just for like grocery shoppers in America or Europe?
But for the actual growers,
Yeah.
the economies and cultures where jackfruit comes from.
Precisely. So if you've ever had a pulled jackfruit sandwich and wondered, what's the real story here? Well, this deep dive is definitely for you.
Okay, so let's start at the roots, literally. Where does jackfruit, Artocarpus heterophyllus, actually come from?
Well, fundamentally, it's native to South and Southeast Asia. Think India, Bangladesh, Thailand. And as our sources really emphasize, Sri Lanka, it's deeply embedded there.
And it's more than just a crop in Sri Lanka, isn't it? I mean, it's culturally huge, sometimes called the national tree.
That's right. It was traditionally considered almost essential for every household, not just nice to have, but a core part of domestic life and, well, survival.
Which leads to that amazing historical name for it.
The nutrition tree, yeah. And that wasn't just a nice nickname. Historical accounts show it was the go-to food source, the principal source, especially when other foods were scarce.
Wow, like a safety net.
A very reliable, very hardy food security blanket, exactly.
Yeah.
It just kept producing.
There's that quote from the sources, too, that really sums it up. Something like,
If there is a jackfruit tree in the village, food difficulty is absent.
yeah.
That captures it perfectly. It meant resilience, sustenance through thick and thin.
Okay, so it's reliable.
Yeah.
But how does one tree provide so much? That seems key to its modern appeal, too.
Well, that's down to its incredible culinary versatility. This is what's really fascinating. It's used at practically every stage of ripeness.
Right, and each stage is like a completely different ingredient.
Totally different. You wouldn't necessarily guess they came from the same fruit if you didn't know.
So let's break that down, starting with the young, unripe jackfruit, polos.
Right, polos. This is harvested early, before the sugars really develop. So it's dense, savory, a bit starchy.
And it has that texture, right? Kind of stringy, fibrous.
Exactly that texture, which is why it works so well as a meat substitute. When you cook it, especially slow cook it.
Like in Polo's curry, which sounds delicious, by the way.
Oh, it is. It shreds beautifully, takes on spices and flavors incredibly well. It's easy to see why people in the West started calling it, vegetarian pulled pork.
Yeah.
That shredding quality is key.
Okay, so that's the young stage. What about when it matures a bit? Walu cones.
Yeah, Walucos. Now you're getting a bit more substance, maybe a touch of sweetness starting, but still primarily savory. And this is used in a huge range of traditional dishes in Sri Lanka.
Like melum
Yeah.
or a mabuthial.
Exactly. And things like Bombay Motto or even roti, it can be the main component, not just a side. Think about kulia, a dry curry.
Dry curry, how does that work?
Well, you often simmer the mature jackfruit chunks until basically all the liquid cooks off, leaving this intensely flavored, firm textured base for the meal. It's substantial, real food system stuff.
Interesting. And it doesn't stop there, does it? What about the other bits? Seeds and the fully ripe fruit.
Right. Nothing wasted traditionally. The seeds often boiled or steamed. They're a popular side dish themselves. Quite nutritious.
And then the ripe fruit. Walakos or walanga?
Now that's the dessert. Fully ripe, it becomes sweet, intensely aromatic, quite sticky.
Often serves with honey, I read.
Yeah, often with honey. And the texture and sweetness are so rich that it got this nickname, mimas.
Which translates to,
Something like bee honey meat. It just highlights how this one tree covers everything, savory mains, sides, sweet desserts. It's a complete package.
okay, so this incredible versatility, this history as a nutrition tree.
Yeah.
It all makes sense locally. But what was the spark? What made the West suddenly go, wow, jackfruit? when they have soy and pea protein already?
Well, I think it really comes down to the numbers, the nutritional data. When people started looking closely, especially health-conscious consumers and the eco-aware crowd,
They saw the potential.
exactly, they saw this powerhouse nutritional profile. The legacy of the nutrition tree suddenly had global appeal.
Let's get into those specifics because they're pretty impressive. Fiber's a big one, right?
Huge. Our sources point out it's really rich in fiber, much more so than a lot of common staple foods.
And it's good fiber, right? Like beneficial for digestion.
Yeah, it's great for gut health. It sort of acts like a prebiotic, helping stimulate good bacteria, improving the whole digestive process. That's a massive plus in today's health world, with everyone focused on the microbiome.
Okay, what about protein? It's often marketed as a protein source.
It is. Now look, a cup of jackfruit isn't going to have the raw grams of protein like, say, a block of tofu or a scoop of pea protein powder.
Right.
But the sources show it is a good source of protein, and importantly, it often comes with a more diverse range of amino acids than many fruits. Plus, you get that protein along with all the other nutrients.
Which brings us to vitamins.
Yes, an excellent source of key vitamins. We're talking significant amounts of vitamin A, vitamin C, and vitamin B6.
So immunity support from C, eye health from A, B6 is important for metabolism.
Crucial for metabolism, brain function too. And you also get important minerals like potassium and calcium. It's just very nutrient dense.
So you put the fiber, the vitamins, the minerals all together.
And the health benefits reported in the sources start to make a lot of sense. Things like helping to minimize the risk of heart disease, managing blood lipids.
When they say high lipids, that means cholesterol and triglycerides, the fats in your blood.
Exactly. Managing those is a major health goal worldwide, and jackfruit offers this natural, plant-based dietary approach.
And we can't forget the seeds. You mentioned they're eaten, but are they also nutritionally significant?
Absolutely. They're specifically noted for providing protein and amino acids that help with muscle development and recovery. Think of them as a kind of natural whole food supplement.
Wow. Okay, so the nutrition is clearly there. How does that translate into this modern vegan meat identity? And practically, how do they get enough unripe fruit for that market? Doesn't that compete with using it ripe?
That's a really good point. It does require managing the harvest differently, but it's happening through more organized supply chains now. In the West, US, Europe, Australia, it's got this image as an eco-friendly food too.
Why eco-friendly?
Well, jackfruit trees are perennial. They live for years. They generally need less water, fewer pesticides or fertilizers, less intervention than many annual crops grown for protein, like soy, for instance.
Yeah, I see. More inherently sustainable because of how it grows.
Exactly. It's hardy, it yields well. That sustainability factor is a huge selling point now.
And that demand drives specific products.
Yeah.
Right. We're not just seeing whole jackfruit.
No, definitely not. The big demand is for value-added products. Jackfruit burgers, jackfruit tacos are huge, pre-made curry pastes or simmer sauces, snacks like jackfruit chips or dried pieces.
And canned jackfruit, I assume, for export.
Oh yeah, canned young jackfruit, usually in brine or water. That's essential for shelf life and getting it consistently to international markets.
So it's moving from just being local food security to being part of these complex global value chains.
Precisely. Which needs infrastructure, canning, processing, logistics, often close to where it's grown.
But the sources also mention needing more than just logistics. They talk about education,
Right.
Telling the whole story.
Yes, that's crucial. Proper global knowledge campaigns. It's important that it's not just seen as a bland meat substitute. Consumers need to understand the cultural background, the full health picture, the environmental benefits.
So using social media, cooking demos, food festivals.
All of that to really introduce it properly with its full value proposition intact.
Which brings us to the final, really important piece. Why does this matter beyond the food trends? What's the impact back home?
It comes down to tangible economic benefits for the countries and communities growing it.
Okay, like what?
Well, first, increased export income. For a country like Sri Lanka, successfully exporting processed jackfruit products brings in valuable foreign currency. It's turning a traditional, sometimes underutilized resource into a real export earner.
And does that money reach the actual farmers?
That's the goal, and often the reality. The sources highlight direct economic advantages for village-level growers. Connecting their traditional crop to these higher-value global markets can provide a more stable, more sustainable income than they might have had before.
So for you listening, think about this journey. We started with KOS, the traditional nutrition tree, packed with those key vitamins A, C, B6, protein, fiber.
A plant that literally ensured survival for generations in its homeland.
And now, based on those very same ancient qualities. It's driving this massive global shift towards plant-based eating.
Yeah, the story of jackfruit is really much deeper than just a food trend. When countries like Sri Lanka successfully promote it globally, they're doing more than selling fruit.
They're exporting culture, introducing their food systems.
Exactly. And potentially securing real economic growth and environmental benefits at the same time. It's like taking the nation's name and its agricultural heritage into a whole new global conversation about sustainable food.
A really powerful example of how the past can shape the future of food. An incredible deep dive today.
Truly fascinating stuff.
Thanks for joining us on the Deep Dive.